dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Dynamite, January 29th, 2025. Tony Excalibur Taz on commentary. We're in Huntsville, Alabama, at the VBC Propst Arena. I hope I said that correctly, but that's okay. We're talking about some Dynamite on a Wednesday. Woo-hoo. We got Grand Slam Australia, February 15th. Revolution, March 9th. And All In, July 12th. A lot of things we're building towards, especially this Grand Slam Australia show. And it's going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be on Max. It's not a pay-per-view or anything like that. But I was reading that they were doing buy one, get one free, basically, on tickets. So I was like, oh, that's not a good sign at all. But we'll start this off with Will Ospreay versus Brian Cage. Fun match. Don Callis there, shenanigans and whatnot. But before they started the match, Don Callis is like, I need you to look at the screen, Will. And they beat up Kenny. You bastards. The show will like, hey, you have no friends. And Don gets on commentary. And of course you got Archer out there. They're, it's the same old spiel with the Don Callis family. Will gets the win. And it's funny about this is like, you're trying to sell me on Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher taking on Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Like, that's the draw match. That's the match that we're all in for. But you already beat this group up. Just the two of you. Now Will beat Brian. Will Kenny beat Archer? And I'm like, well, if you can beat this team, why do I want to invest my time to go watch this tag team match? It's just a little silly. But of course, after Will gets the win, they attack him afterwards. And here comes Kenny. And I gotta say, they did the pile driver with Kenny and Will. Will stayed down. Kenny just kept getting up. It just felt so long and awkward. I'm like, Kenny, just stay down. Just stay down, Kenny. Please, for the love of God, please stay down. Oh, my gosh. It was just really funny to me. Just how Kenny just would not sell and just stay down. Because Takeshita looked at him and was like, what? And he started kicking him. But silly Willie. Then we got Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio, and if Jeff Jarrett loses, he can't get his opportunity. We don't want it anyway. I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett go after the championship, go after Moxley. But, of course, here comes the Mox cult. So you were telling me that Claudio could not beat Jeff Jarrett by himself. He had to have Mox interfere and take out Jeff Jarrett so Claudio could win. The Mox cult is just boring. It's so boring. And then here comes MJF, and who's become boring as well. And he's just like, well, Jeff Jarrett, then hits him. Then he's got on kiss boots. It's just like blah. And I'm trying really hard to get into the show. Will and Brian was fine for what it was as a match. Then we go to the backstage with Renee. She's with Ricochet. And it's Ricochet. Then we get Renee with Hangman, and MJF walks past him, and I don't know. Then we got a Hobbs promo. Like, that's the only thing I'm like, man, I want to see Hobbs and Big Bill fight again. And Hobbs says, once I get cleared, I'm really going to take you to hell. Ricochet versus AR Fox. This was a fun match just because these two are basically almost the same in movesets and everything like that. So I enjoyed this match. I really did. I think these two are they just work well together. That's all. That's all. But Ricochet, of course, got the win over AR Fox. AR Fox had kind of a new look, new jacket possibly. So, but overall, good match for what it was. And then, of course, here comes our boy Swerve. Oh, that's what it was in this match. I have my note here. I see it now. Ricochet does this like weird. Freaking move on like the people's moonsault. Like, he teases it and he goes back and forth, and all of a sudden I don't know, it was silly. It was very silly to me. And it made it look like he was doing the Rock's elbow, that he does the people's moonsault. I don't know. But Swerve, I was getting to it. Swerve, here comes the golden scissors. He puts it to AR Fox's neck, and Swerve is like, ugh. And I'm like, those little scissors, man, it's just so silly. It's just so silly to me whatsoever. It's so silly. Like, the scissors are silly. Silly, silly, silly. Then we get Renee with her show Close Up. She's with the Mox Cult, and it's like, you want to see the championship? It's Forge and Fire. It's just like, this is why you don't need to see the championship. I was like, God damn it. Then we have this weird Daddy Magic merch madness. I know merch madness. I know WWE does the same thing too. So then we get New York Minute, care less. Moving on. Jay versus Yuta. Here comes Mox Cult. They attack. And then here comes Cope and here comes FTR, and they challenge him to a Mid-South street fight. Woo, really? On Collision? No. I'm so tired of the Mox Cult. I'm tired of Cope. I'm tired of FTR. The only person I'm rooting for, honestly, in all of this is Jay White. I just want that championship back out in the open. I want to stop this storyline. It's just killing it for AEW, and then it's stopping my enjoyment of AEW. Collision was probably one of the best collisions. Had one of the best moments with Tony Storm and Mariah May, and that's who's next. Renee's with Mariah May, and Mariah May cuts this great promo, man. She's just on it. Just so much fire, so much passion. And I love Mariah May, so I'm excited for their match in Australia. And the timeless Tony Storm is back, and we'll hear from her on Collision. Then when we get this really emotional Guns promo, they're coming back. It's like, finally, other tag teams. Can we get other tag teams, please? Like, give me the guns. Guns up, baby. I want my guns. Where's my Bang Bang Gang? Then we get a Hurt Syndicate promo. They're like, hey, bring on anyone and everyone. We'll take them out. We get Taya and Deanna backstage. I don't care. Then we have the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Yuka. They gave them 20 minutes. I felt like that was too long. It should have been that 15-minute match. Let them do their spots and everything. And I forgot to say who won, or Jay or Yuta. Jay got the win. But, of course, the Mox Cult attacked. But, it was just a boring Dynamite. Nothing really got my attention, nothing really. There was fun matches, Will versus Bryan and Ricochet versus AR Fox, but it was just like the story is lacking so hard that it's affecting me watching the wrestling itself to make me be like, why does this matter? Why do I care? Golden Scissors. So silly. But I wrote on the bottom of my page after I got done with the show, boring. So I'm giving this Dynamite a solid 2 out of 5. January 29th, 2025. I don't want to be that way. I love AEW. I want AEW to thrive, but they need to do something in the storytelling here to make me care. Especially when you have Will, you have Kenny, you got Ricochet, you got all this amazing talent, Jay White, Mariah May, the Guns, and you got all this talent, and some of it, you need to have Jon Moxley stop with this Mox Cult crap. I think that's what's really the killer, And then to make MJF boring, that just makes me sad. But I like his kiss boots. So, but all right, y'all. That's it. That's all. They were in Huntsville, Alabama at the VBC Probst Arena. Tony, Excalibur, Taz on commentary. My match tonight, I'm just going to go with Will versus Bryan. So drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Shout out your grandma, shout out your grandpa, shout out the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Like agility from the aerial assassin. The elbow strike backs up. Oh, look at Ospreay.
Oh, no, that's
Ospreay was looking for a flipping neck breaker, but instead Cage caught him.